Arsenal transfer news update show, ladies and gentlemen. There's a lot to talk about. I hope everybody can hear me loud and clear. Hope everyone's doing well. On today's show, we're going to be talking about Mohamed Elneny. We're going to be talking about Mason Mount. We're going to be talking about a Frenchman. I forget his name right now. Marcus Thuram. There you go. We're going to be talking about Ilkay Gundogan. Could we be getting another Manchester City player? Let's find out. And also, Declan Rice to Arsenal, the story that doesn't go away. Supposedly, there is more news on Declan Rice to Arsenal. This deal seems like it is going to end up happening eventually. Right now, we're just hearing all of the details as they come out. In addition to that, Mohamed Elneny has signed a new contract extension for the next 12 months. We're going to get into everything on today's show. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let's get today's show on at least 150 likes. If you haven't already done the likes, make sure you hit it right now. Let's get the show started. Leave a comment down below where you're watching from. What do you think about Mohamed Elneny's new contract extension? And will you take Ilkay Gundogan at Arsenal? Let's go. Yes, people. How's it going? How's everyone doing? Hope everyone is well. We are live right now. It is 5:30 on Tuesday, the 21st of February, and we got a lot to talk about. But before we go any further, make sure you guys leave a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think about the content. As you guys are live right now, I want to see some comments, guys. Would you? I would take Declan Rice, of course. Let's get this show started, people. First things first. We got to talk about the Mohamed Elneny news, because the Mohamed Elneny news was the first thing I seen today that got people going. It got people a little bit sad. It got some people emotional. People are getting emotional for no reason, guys. We really are getting a little bit too emotional for no reason. Now, let me just tell you guys what ended up happening. The club has given Mohamed Elneny a new contract extension. Yes, Mohamed Elneny is currently injured. He had to get surgery. And if you don't know, Mohamed Elneny had to get surgery because he picked up an injury. Uh, when was it? I think it was against Oxford United. He might have picked up the injury. So in that game versus Oxford United, he picked up an injury. That injury will have him out for an extended period. And in that extended period, Arsenal have given him a new contract to run while he's injured. The 30-year-old Mohamed Elneny is happy that he's been given another contract, and this contract is a goodwill gesture, basically, based on the fact that the player is doesn't have much left at Arsenal. His contract was running out, and they've basically given him some security for the next 12 months. And with that security came a reduction in his wages. As you can see here, it's understood that a drop in his wages was part of the agreement with Mohamed Elneny. More than happy to sign fresh terms with the club. So he's now triggered a new contract, and this is a reduced wages, and this gives him 12 months at the club where he doesn't have to worry about his job security and everything else. People are talking about, are you watching the Real Madrid Liverpool game? Yes, the Real Madrid Liverpool game, if I'm not mistaken, is at 8 o'clock. Am I mistaken? What time is the Liverpool game on? Liverpool. What time is the game on? Yeah, the game's at 8 o'clock. Me and Kaz are gonna do a show to talk about it, as we should. Um, I don't want them. Rice is better. We'll talk about that in a second. Mohamed Elneny deserves it. He's always been outstanding. What? Before he was outstanding before his injury, and he's been very good servant of the club. Yeah, he has. Mohamed Elneny, not only has Mohamed Elneny been a good servant of the club, he's one of the longest staying players at the club at this moment in time, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just go to the Mohamed Elneny story. So yeah, so the reactions from the Arsenal fan base from the Mohamed Elneny story has been very interesting. You have some people who are very aggressive towards Mohamed Elneny and are not really proud. Where is it? Here it is. So Mohamed Elneny gets a 12-month contract, 1 year added on to his deal, making him last until next January. Some people are upset. Some people are happy. Some people are saying, look, change in wages patterns. You know what? Some things about this deal, I get people are going to get upset. But why are people upset that Mohamed Elneny is signing a new contract? For strictly footballing reasons, it makes sense. You get a player who is injured. He's going to have 6 months, less than 6 months remaining on his contract, and he's going to be injured well over a year. You give him a new contract extension. What now happens is you can now push that contract to next January, lower his wages, and you're basically spreading the cost over a longer period. But he now has some job security, and as he can find a new job, we've done this before with players like Santi Cazorla. If you guys don't remember, we did this with players like Santi Cazorla in the past. We've done this with other players in the past that have gotten injured. So it's not something new. Some people are really getting upset over the fact that Mohamed Elneny has been given a new deal. It doesn't make sense why people are getting so upset. Like, calm down. It's not that serious. He is not going to be a big part of the team going forward. He's not going to be a player who's going to get. He's a player who gets a lot of abuse, unwarranted in my opinion, because he is not a 10 out of 10 every single game per player. What he is, I'm not comparing Santi Cazorla, I'm comparing the situation. So this is what Mohamed Elneny tweeted out. A new chapter begins on my journey with Arsenal. I just signed a new contract with Arsenal. For me, it's just a club. For me, it isn't just a club I joined 7 years ago, which makes it the longest serving current player at Arsenal. Is my home, my family, happiness, growth, ambition, and my love for Arsenal. I love Arsenal. I love you. So this is a photo with him and Edu and Mikel Arteta, his father, and himself. And it's a beautiful thing. He's the longest serving player at the club, right? But this is where I get upset, a little upset. You see some of the reactions. Some of the reactions are good, and then you get some other people reacting like CC is funny. She's saying at this point you just laugh. You got other people saying terminate Xhaka's contract. You got some people making some poor remarks about the thing, but most of them are quite positive. Most of them are quite happy. So you know what? It is what it is. The reaction, you're gonna have split reactions on everything. But at the end of the day, I'm just gonna say this. Let's see what some of you guys are saying in the comments. Let me know what you think about Mohamed Elneny's contract. Your content is cool. Thank you, my friend Yasin. Thank you. Mohamed Elneny has no ambitions. Man will never be a first team player. That is not 100% true. It's not his ambitions to be first team player. Some people just know their role and just stay in their lane. It's not always about trying to push to be this player, that player. Sometimes they're just people who know their role and they do their role well. They don't cause disruption in the dressing room, and they're a good vibe to have around. I like Mohamed Elneny. He's not good enough. You know what? There's not where we're headed to. He might not be part of the squad for much longer. It's just reality. I think they gave him the contract not to be a player on the pitch, but more the fact that as he's getting his life sorted out off the pitch, he has some financial security. That's what I think the main reason is behind this. I was not comparing Santi Cazorla and thing, not for 1 second. I'm not comparing the players. The players are two completely different players. What I'm comparing is the situation. The situation with Santi Cazorla and his injury that took him out for a while, and Mohamed Elneny's situation is quite similar. If you look at it this way, the club had a player who was injured, and they gave him a new deal while he was injured to give him the financial security to then stay in the job for a little bit longer. We've done this before, and that's merely what I was pointing out. I was not here comparing the two situations. I think the two situations we can tell are different. Mohamed Elneny is not necessarily a starter, where Santi was a starter. But where you can see the similarities between Santi and Elneny is the situation where the injury takes place, and they were both out of the team at the time, and now we've given an extra year. I'm not too particularly upset about Elneny getting the new deal. A lot of people are upset. A lot of people are like, "Yo, why? How dare we give Elneny a new deal?" But remember, this is a classy club. It's not just sentiment. It's also financially the player has taken a reduction to make this more feasible for all parties. So it is what it is. I'm just gonna say we keep it moving. In the summer, we try to go get a Casado. We try to go get a Declan Rice. We try to go get these guys who improve the midfield overall massively. Now, moving on to the next story. Before we go any further, let me see if there's any contract situation. Um, Extending a contract is a joke, and then he's not good enough. Toby, if he's not playing, and he's literally just extending his contract for an additional 6 months from where it was originally, what's the big deal? He's gone by next January. That's the reality. Mohamed Elneny is not going to be a big part of the squad next year. He might not even be registered in the squad. He's our Milner. That could be the case. He could be our Milner. That could be the case. Fully agree there. Neither the player, uh, neither player were coming back from injury, having first team impacts. We rehabilitated them uh, and help them find a first team, a new team. Yeah, that's the reality. They get themselves a situation where they rehabilitate themselves and they find themselves a new club. That is the situation at hand with that. Now let's go into Declan Rice and Arsenal. There's a lot to talk about with Declan Rice and Arsenal. If you guys don't know, Arsenal are serious about Declan Rice. Arsenal are serious about Declan Rice to the point where they're even discussing wages with Declan Rice at this moment in time. Arsenal are pushing to give Declan Rice 200K a week in wages. Yes, 200K a week in wages. That's how much Arsenal at this moment in time is pushing to give to Declan Rice. It could be something that comes off very, very, very soon. Now, let me just show you guys what I mean before we go any further. Make sure you also, guys, we got like 35 of you guys in the comments right now. Hit that like button and let me know, would you want Declan Rice at Arsenal in the summer? That deal looks like it's more or less likely going to happen in the summer. But at this moment in time, we gotta wait. We gotta wait until the summer to see what happens there. And we got a lot of business to do before the summer, right? We got a lot to do before the summer. So yeah, so Arsenal are pushing ahead for a 200K per week deal for Declan Rice. Could replace uh uh West Ham. What? Forget about the West Ham part. Sources understood that Declan Rice's situation re- re- rel- rel- revealed Arsenal are steady, sustained contact with the player and representatives ahead of the summer deal, are willing to hand him a long-term contract expected to be worth an excess of 200K a week. Sorry about I'm butchering my reading, guys. My bad. But yeah, so sources are understood that Declan Rice's situation have revealed that this at this moment in time, 200K per week is what they're rumored to be saying. West Ham, if they get relegated, we can get him for as low as 50 million potentially, but I don't know if that's going to happen. The reality is, at this moment in time, Arsenal are in pole position to sign the West Ham midfielder for 200K per week. That would be his wages, and West Ham are likely to command around 70 to 80 million in overall transfer fees if we were to sign the player. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I would take Declan Rice in a heartbeat. I think Declan Rice upgrades us in many positions. He can offer us somebody who can play in the Xhaka role. He can offer us somebody who can play in the Partey role, and he can even play as a center back if need be. Most likely, we'd be signing him to play as a central defensive midfielder, I would think. But let me know what you guys saying. People are saying Potter in. Let Potter stay. Declan Rice or Casado, we definitely want one of those two. People saying Glazers in, FSG in. Hi, Sean. How are you? Hope you're doing well, Sean. How's everyone? Big up Omar Noor in the house. Guys, of course, make sure you do hit that like button. But let me know right now. Do you think 200K per week is fair for Declan Rice? I think that's fair wages, personally. I think based on the way wages work nowadays in football, I think 200K for Declan Rice is about fair. I think 200K per week is about what a player would warrant that's moving from another Premier League club. And I'm not sure how much is he on right now. Let's see. Uh, Declan Rice wages. Let me see his contract right now. How much is he on? Um, if I'm not mistaken, his contract right now, Declan Rice is on a pretty decent deal. 1 second. Let me see. Declan Rice. Declan Rice. Where is he? I don't see it. Where is it? Okay, yeah. Oh shit, he's only on 60K a week. Declan Rice is only making 60K a week right now. Declan Rice is only on 60K a week, guys. Declan Rice is only on 60K a week. Isn't Partey on 200K? Rice definitely deserves it. I guess so. I guess if he's the successor for Partey, and at this moment in time, if we look at what he's making over at West Ham he's making 60K a week. So this is Declan Rice, and he's making 60K a week over at West Ham. Who's the highest earner at West Ham? 150K is going to Lucas Paqueta. Yeah, so he's going to be making well over that. He's going to be making well over that money, and I think it's worth it for him to join Arsenal. And I think if he was to join Arsenal, I think it would be a healthy environment for him to come in and immediately give us an impact. He would give us another option after Thomas Partey, and if Thomas Partey doesn't start week in week out, Declan Rice is there. If Xhaka doesn't start, Declan Rice is there. Declan Rice is probably going to go straight into the first team. It's just going to be who's going to go to the bench. Do you think Partey is going to go to the bench, or do you think Xhaka is going to go to the bench? Let me know what you guys think right now. Who out of those two will end up on the bench? Iga, would you take Balogun back and get rid of Eddie Nketiah? Interesting question. What do you guys think? Everyone in the chat, let me know. Would you take Balogun back and get rid of Eddie Nketiah, or do you think it's worth keeping Balogun at this moment in time? I'm looking at the two players, and I'm saying to myself, Balogun is actually probably behind Eddie Nketiah in the pecking order, in my opinion. When it comes to Eddie Nketiah and Balogun, I'm looking at Balogun and I'm saying to myself, yes, he's doing great in the French league, but I think Eddie Nketiah is just a little bit ahead of him. And you can see when he was playing the Premier League last year, he wasn't cutting it. At least Eddie Nketiah, he's shown that he can cut it at this level. What I would sell Balogun. I would sell Balogun with a buyback clause or something like that. No time for sentiment. We are currently on a trajectory where we're trying to compete on a consistent level, and we cannot have no more young players that are just almost on the fringes cutting the mustard. We don't have time to experiment. So I'm not here for the Balogun experiment. I'm here to sell Balogun, maybe get 50 to 60 million if we can, and then have a buyback clause for around the same price potentially, and then see if he develops into something better. We have that buyback clause. If he develops into something better, we can then maybe have a sell-on clause, one or the other. But I would keep Eddie Nketiah and I would sell Balogun at this moment in time because I want to hold on to what I know, and I don't want to risk it with the unknown of a Balogun. Let Balogun maybe continue to work his craft over in the French league. He will be worth a decent amount of money. But I personally, I think Arsenal would sell Balogun, and I would sell Balogun. I'm not saying he's not a good player, but I would be willing to sell him. And 50 million, I think, is a reasonable price. Let me know how much you guys think he's worth, because I think even Arsenal Football Club, there was articles that came out a couple of days ago that Arsenal could be considering selling Balogun, where Eddie Nketiah, we tied him down to a recent contract, and I don't think he's going to be sold anytime soon. That's just me. Let me know what you guys think, though. People in the chat, what are they saying about Balogun? Good balance of experience and youth is needed. That is true. Balogun could be worth 100 million easy. Not yet. Slow down. Not yet. Hell no. What's the problem with Eddie? Eddie is doing really well, but I'm not selling either. You don't have to sell either. You don't have to sell either Balogun or Eddie Nketiah. Maybe you can, but I think loaning him out again is not really worth our while. I think the best case scenario for Arsenal would be to sell Balogun and get that money in our pocket so we can strengthen this team and just continue to build on the level of, because at this moment in time, we are no longer looking at base level quality. We are looking for the high end, because we're going to be getting back into the Champions League. We're going to be competing for players similar to what Chelsea have been doing in the last year, getting these quality players. And at this point, we're reaching the level where we need the icing on the cake. We no longer need the base players to just fill out the squad. We now need to start getting those game changers. That's what we need. That's why we're getting a Declan Rice, to get another game changer in the squad. That's why we're linked to all these big name players like Casado and Michaela Mudryk, because we're getting these game changers now. We're no longer just going for the base level Tielemans and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But yeah, enough about that, guys. Enough about that. So we've spoken about Declan Rice. We've spoken about we've spoken about thing. Now I'm gonna piss you guys off a little bit. I have to. I'm sorry. You're not going to be happy. You're not going to be happy that I'm mentioning this. Not a lot of people are going to be happy that I'm mentioning this guy. Not a lot of people are going to be happy that I'm even talking about this transfer. But there is a rumor. There is a rumor floating about that Arsenal could be going for a certain player, a certain player, and his name goes by Mason Mount. Yes, Mason Mount is linked to Arsenal. Rumor has it that Mason Mount's contract situation is running down, and with his contract situation running down and expiring in 2027, Chelsea Football Club could sell him in the summer, and Arsenal have been rumored to be one of those potential landing spots for Declan Rice. Now, I'm not for Mason Mount. Now, my question to you is, if Mason Mount is available in the summer, you have the opportunity to sign him on a free, would you take him? Would you take Mason Mount at Arsenal? Let me know. Because this is the rumors that are floating about. He has a contract expiring situation. Contract talks have stalled with Chelsea. And now we're hearing about Mason Mount to Arsenal. Now, I'm just going to be honest. I'm going to get to your comments in a second. I don't want nothing to do with the guy. I don't want nothing to do with the guy. I think Mason mid-mount is not what we need at this moment in time. We need to continue to push our levels higher and higher and higher. Mason Mount is a decent player. Maybe you can blame the manager. Maybe you can blame other people. But for me, I just think we need to strive for players outside of Mason Mount. I think we should be looking at, if we're going to look at eights like Granit Xhaka positions, we already have a player within our ranks that could be doing the same thing as Mason Mount, or maybe even better, in Charlie Patino. And Mason Mount wants a ridiculous wages also. Mason Mount wants 300K a week. The guy's literally smoking something if he thinks he's going to get 300K a week from any Premier League club besides Chelsea. Liverpool Football Club has been also linked to him. Newcastle have been linked to him. A lot of clubs have been linked to Mason Mount. At this point, I think it's agent talk. I can't believe it. People are saying, I don't know what you're talking about. What do you mean you don't know what I'm talking about? Can you guys not hear me? Am I talking nonsense? Okay. People disagree. You can disagree. But people saying no to Mason Mount. Someone said yes to Mason Mount. You must be a Chelsea fan. No. Depends on his wages. I want better players, 100%. Come to City. Let him go to City. Let Mason Mount go to City. I honestly don't care. Let Mason Mount go to City. No to Mason Mount. Don't play this rate. What? Buy him so you don't rate him. What? Don't play this. Don't rate him. Then buy him, and so you rate him game. You know what? Forget that. The paper makes sense. But personally, no. You know what? That's true. That's true. On paper, it makes sense to get a Premier League proven player, young player, already played in the Premier League, Champions League winner. Makes sense. But I just can't get past the fact that we're going to be going for another Chelsea player. And it's like, it's not the Jorginho situation all over again. Ignore that. Thank you. That message was for somebody else. Okay. If Arteta wants him, I want him. You know what? Arteta also wanted Willian. Sometimes Arteta can get it wrong. That's the reality. Sometimes Arteta can get it wrong. I'm not saying Mason Mount is bad. I'm just saying we already have so many players that we can get from within the Premier League Do you think Mason Mount is the guy that we should be going for? And also, Chelsea's going to put a ridiculous price tag on Mason Mount. Chelsea's going to put a ridiculous price tag on Mason Mount. Personally, I'm not a fan, and I've never been a fan of Mason Mount to say, oh, bring him to Arsenal. No. Every time I see the links to Mason Mount to Arsenal, I kind of get sick. It makes me sick. But yeah. Anyways, guys, if you want to support the channel, you can always support the channel with you can like the video, and you can also support the channel with super chats if you guys like to. We got 50 people in the chat right now. Let me know. Mason Mount, is it a yes? Is it a hell no? What is it? For me, it's an Angero no. Angero no. That's what it is. And if you guys know what Angero is, I'm saying no. I'm saying no. That's just a straight no for me. I like the player to a certain degree, but not in my team. Not in my team. We'll talk about other players though. There's definitely some other players we're linked to that we need to talk about. But for him, I'm just gonna stay clear. I'm just gonna stay clear from that conversation because I don't think it's a good one. I don't think we need him. I don't think we need him. Now there is other eights that we're also linked to. Don't forget to smash the like button, people. Yes. Would not be shocked if Arsenal signed him. I'm sick and tired of signing former Chelsea players. You know what I'm not sick and tired of? I'm not sick and tired of signing more Manchester City players. That's what I'm not sick and tired of. And there is a City player that Arsenal are linked to. There is a City player that Arsenal are linked to that Manchester City might be willing to get rid of. If you guys know who I'm talking about, let me know right now. Ilkay Gundogan. Now, if you don't know, Ilkay Gundogan is Manchester City are willing to let their club captain Ilkay Gundogan leave on a free in the summer. They are willing to let him leave on a free in the summer. Now, if Ilkay Gundogan could come to Arsenal and play that Xhaka role, would you guys be down for it, Gundogan? Now, what you have to know about Gundogan is Gundogan has played under Mikel Arteta. I mean, with Mikel Arteta at Manchester City. The situation is quite clear. Manchester City could be letting him leave on a free in the summer, but the champions are unwilling to hand the midfielder a 2-year contract. With Arsenal interested, Arsenal could potentially hand him a 2-year contract. Barcelona are also interested in the player and would be willing to hand him a long-term contract. Now, you need to know that Gundogan is 30-something years old. You need to know that Gundogan has somewhat of a back issue. You need to know that if we were to sign Gundogan, Arsenal are interested, but it doesn't mean we're going to get the deal. It doesn't mean we're going to get him, right? Barcelona are currently leading the race for Ilkay Gundogan. Barcelona are the main protagonists in this thing trying to get Ilkay Gundogan. And if they do get Gundogan, I wouldn't be surprised. In the summer, we spoke to Dabs and we spoke to Hamza. They both told us Gundogan has back issues. He cannot play most weeks, and he's not really consistently in the team, and he's getting rotated a lot. Reason being, let me go to Gundogan now. This season in the Premier League, surprisingly, Gundogan's played a lot of games. I thought they said he couldn't really maintain the games and the levels. He's played a lot of games. He's played a lot of games. If you see there, he's played a lot of games. 21 games, 32 games so far in the Premier League overall this season. How many of those games did he start? He played 90 minutes in almost every Champions League game. He played in the Nations League, he played almost all the games. In the Premier League, he's pretty much captaining and almost starting almost all those games. If you can see there. Like, what happened to Gundogan? What happened to people saying Gundogan has a back problem and he can't be consistent? It looks like he's consistent. If I'm not mistaken, it looks like he's consistent. So my question to you is, how much longer do you think he can keep it up? Because he's 32 years old. He's a year older than me. Honestly, I want to know. I want to see yeses or nos in the chat. And if you're going to say no, explain to me why. Now, I'm going to give you guys a scenario. Gundogan, 32 years old. You can get him on a free transfer. He's paid a ridiculous amount of money at this moment in time over in Manchester. We're going to have to match that, or at least give him something, a little bit of pay reduction maybe. But let's see what his contract is. What is his contract right now at Manchester City? How much do you guys think he gets paid? He gets paid, if I'm not mistaken, let me see. He's on a decent amount of wages, 140. He's getting paid 140 a week in Manchester. We could easily pay him that. 140 is not too much. Let me know what you guys think. People in the chat here saying yes to Gundogan, come through Gundogan. We are linked to him every transfer window. That is true. We are linked to him. He's 32 years old. Yes, he is. Gundogan, yes, all day, every day. People saying Iga, he's 32 years old. I'm a bit worried. He's an aging player who gets injured all the time. We don't need that. I agree there. Personally, for me, I'm torn. Gundogan is quality. I will never turn away from the quality that he has. His age and injuries loom, and it could be a problem for us. The reason why he's so good at Manchester City, they do so much rotation, he doesn't have to play every week. If he comes to Arsenal and he needs to play a lot, could be a problem. Buy Gundogan, put him in the put him on a pension like Elneny. that could be true. That could be true. You're 31. Damn. Yeah, bro, I'm young. No more 30-year-olds. Okay. Let him link up with Ozil in Turkey. Ozil's retired, if you don't know. We need young players like Rice and Casado. Okay, we're gonna go for those young players. People saying retirement FC. Somali Flame in the house. I haven't seen you in forever. Hope you're doing well. People saying maybe. Okay. Now, enough about Gundogan. Time to talk about the other transfer that we're linked to. The guy that we're linked to every single year, without fail, we are linked to Youri Tielemans. No fail, never. Arsenal are always linked to Youri Tielemans. Now, rumor has it his contract is going to run down and he's actually going to leave on a free. So there's these are the situations, right? You have your Arsenal are in a showdown with for Youri Tielemans, and then you have Newcastle, Barcelona, reportedly all these teams. Arsenal were in place to sign him as his contract expires in June. That is the main headline. I'm not going to lie to you guys. It would make sense if we waited all this time to get him on a free. Do you think if that does happen, will there not be other suitors who are also interested in the player? Will there not be other people who are also interested in Youri Tielemans that will potentially prize him away from us? I don't think Youri Tielemans to Arsenal is done in the waters. We're going to hear about him until he signs for a club. Every single day of every single transfer window until he signs for another club, we will hear about Youri Tielemans. That is the reality. Youri Tielemans is not going nowhere. Now, my question to you is, if you had a choice between Youri Tielemans on a free transfer, or if you had a choice on Gundogan on a free transfer, and you could only pick one of the two, who are you picking? For me, if I had a choice between Gundogan and Youri Tielemans, I would take the younger Youri Tielemans. Gundogan's a better player, but I would take the younger Youri Tielemans for the foreseeable future. That's just me. People saying Tielemans, some people saying Gundogan. Let me know. Would you rather have Gundogan or would you rather have Tielemans if you had to pick? Because we find ourselves in this situation where we're taking free transfers. Tielemans isn't that good. My boy is too slow. But Gundogan's not that fast either. You're literally taking a player who's, 26 years? He can get better. Rice and Casado only. I don't know if we're going to get both. That's the reality. Tielemans has sell on value. That is true. But we also don't sell well. So that's another issue. Tielemans is my first choice. Arteta will improve him. There you go. So the poll question right now is Tielemans or Gundogan. Let me know in the chat. Would you rather have Tielemans on a free transfer or Gundogan on a free transfer? They're both free transfers, by the way. Let me know. But yeah, Newcastle, Barcelona, all these clubs are also interested in Tielemans. It seems like Barcelona want anyone who's free. Barcelona's like, give me a piece of that. Anybody who's a free transfer, Barcelona's like, I want a piece of that. That's the reality. Gundogan, uh, Gundogan makes up for it with his IQ. You know what? Can't you get smarter as a footballer as you get older, or you just have to be born with the IQ? Because if I'm not mistaken, the older you get, the more wiser you get. Youri Tielemans for the longevity. Yeah. Bring me Madison, my guy says. Madison's not happening. Madison's not happening. Madison's going to Manchester City. People saying, I still want Ward Prowse. Believe it or not, Ward Prowse is never going to leave Southampton, bro. We know that. We know Ward Prowse is not ever leaving Southampton. Come on now. Come on now. Come on now. He's not leaving Ward. He's not leaving. Come on now. But you know who might not be gone for too long? Thomas Partey. Hey! Zoom zoom zoom. Zoom zoom zoom. Thomas Partey. Hey, zoom zoom zoom. Should I stop? Okay, I'll stop. Thomas Partey, ladies and gentlemen. The news is out. Thomas Partey could be back this weekend. Yes, could be back this weekend. Great news. Absolutely fantastic news. Absolutely fantastic news. I'm loving it. Make sure people smash the like button for Thomas Partey being back on the weekend. Hopefully he is back on the weekend. The report came out that Thomas Partey hopes that he'll be fit and travel with the Arsenal squad to Leicester this weekend. They won't rush him though. Jorginho arrival eases the pressure. It eases the pressure. So Partey is out, most likely, but he could be available on the bench as an option, if need be, versus Leicester. Personally, for me, I don't risk it. I don't risk it. You don't want to risk it. Because if you risk it and the player gets injured, you're gonna suffer. You're gonna suffer. So you don't want to risk it. You don't want to bring him back too soon and then everything goes to shit. That's the reality. You don't want to make it a situation where you rush him back too soon and then he gets injured again like he did in the Tottenham game, I think last season or a season ago. But at this moment in time, all the rumors are coming out that Thomas Partey's fitness revealed ahead of the Leicester game, and he will most likely be a boost for us on the weekend. Big boost. Big boost. I'm very excited about that. But the thing is, Jorginho has been very good also, so we can't take too much credit away from him. But yeah, this is what the main story is about Thomas Partey. The main story is Arsenal will assure Thomas Partey this weekend and continue to be cautious over his involvement. With the timescale tight on the weekend, he can be in the squad to face Leicester, but the club will not rush him back. With Jorginho's arrival, it eases pressure to do so. You know what? That comment is true. We could see Partey in the Xhaka role. We could. But will we? I don't know. I'm a little torn. A little bit. Just a little bit torn. I don't think we're going to see that. Right? Then, what else is there? What else do we got to talk about? Because we spoke about Declan Rice. We spoke about Gundogan. We spoke about Elneny. We spoke about Mason Mount. We spoke about Thomas Partey. And we spoke about Tielemans. So we spoke about all the topics. Right? We've covered everything that we need to cover today. I don't think there's anything else outside of that besides when the hell is Gabriel Jesus going to return? When on earth is Gabriel Jesus going to return? We're waiting for Gabriel Jesus to get back here. Gabriel Jesus, we need to see you soon. Hopefully we see you soon. Just to give you guys a couple other stories to see what else is going on in the storyboards. I'm going to show you guys this. There's Arsenal stuff has a couple things. We could rest Shaka this weekend. That is true. That is true. Uh, he would be your front for the Leicester game. Who'd be my front three? My front three would be Eddie Nketiah. No, I would have played Martinelli, Trossard, and Saka. But I think Arteta is gonna play Eddie Nketiah, Martinelli, and Saka. He's gonna put Trossard back on the bench for this game. By the way, Arsenal, as well as Real Madrid, are closely monitoring the 20-year-old 6'4" striker. Who the hell is this guy? Never heard of him. Never heard of him a day in my life. But 6'4", they're saying. 6'4", beast. Guys, we're trying to build a basketball team at this point. We're trying to compete with the LA Lakers and not Manchester City. Why'd I say Lakers? Lakers are shit. We're trying to compete with the Golden State Warriors and the Phoenix Suns and the friggin' Boston Celtics. We're not trying to compete with these guys no more. 6'4" striker, you know. We're basically trying to get a younger version of Weghorst. I don't know, guys. I don't know if that's gonna happen. I think that's just rumors. By the way, Ivan Fresneda. No big update on Ivan Fresneda. Nothing really coming out of there. Nothing new with that. Nothing new there. By the way, Nuno Tavares just keeps scoring goals. Nuno Tavares scores goals after goals after goals. It's crazy. It's crazy. But yeah, you know what? That's it for today, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think there's anything else that I need to talk about that I haven't already covered on a previous stream. I hope everyone is doing well. Tamia Ahmed in the house. Hey, Iga, hope you're doing well. I'm doing well, Tamina. Thank you. Arsenal will win the Premier League title, Iga. Yes, I hope we do. I hope we do win the Premier League title. Would you want us to get Dusan Vlahovic or Martinez? No. Martinez? No. Dusan Vlahovic? No. Both of those guys can fly kick a monkey. I want Ivan Toney. I want Ivan Toney. That is the guy I want. He's better than both of them. He's better than both of them. But the problem is he can't stop gambling. If the guy could stop gambling, he would be at a bigger club right now. Project Bail for Nuno. The thing about Nuno is I don't know if it's gonna ever happen. I don't know if it's gonna ever happen. Thoughts on Potter, please. He's got to stay. You got to trust the process with Potter. You got to trust the process with Chelsea. You keep sacking managers, you're not going to get nowhere if the people behind the scenes don't know what they're doing. That's just the reality. Anyways, guys, I'm going to be back later tonight at 7 o'clock with Kaz. Yeah, 7 o'clock. I'm going to be back with Kaz. So go check that out right now. I'm gonna go send I'm gonna go send this over to Kaz, and then you guys can go watch. Go make sure you go check out Never a Foul right now, and then come back once you're done. Okay? Go check out Never a Foul and tell him Egal sent you. Tell him Egal sent you. Okay? Tell him Egal sent you. Anyways, I'm out of here, people. You guys have yourselves a wonderful day. Thank you for watching Egal Talks Football and the Arsenal news update. We're out of here, people. Peace.